kitchen, and today we're going to be making some German food. And this is a very traditional German recipe. It's called Frikadellen. It looks like a hamburger. It tastes nothing like a hamburger. It's closer to, I guess, a meatball. If I had to describe what it tastes like, I'm at a loss for words. They're just really good. These you can buy pre-made at a store. You just heat up. That's like the worst case scenario. They also sell them at like these Imbiss quick stands. It's like German fast food. They'll just serve it in like a Brotchen like this, a piece of bread with usually with some mustard on it or ketchup. And can also be eaten like a traditional meal with a potato salad, things like that. So we're gonna first run through the ingredients. I made these homemade for the first time a couple days ago, and I have to say I was like really amazed about how much better they are than the ones you buy at the store. Even the ones from the butcher are really good, but this was just, I don't know, it's worth making homemade. It's a very easy recipe. I made it very simple, minimal ingredients. I did some research on different recipes because it changes quite a bit from region to region what they'll put in it. People have their own little preferences. So I did some research on different recipes, and we're gonna add a few things extra today. Let me go ahead and go over the ingredients. So you're gonna need some minced meat. Traditionally you're gonna use a mix of pork and beef. That's what I'm gonna use. You can just use pork or only beef, or veal or poultry like chicken or turkey, however you wanna do it. But this is gonna be the more traditional way and how I like them. So it's gonna be a mix of pork and beef. This is 800 grams, it's about 2 pounds. You can cut this recipe in half easily, but I've got a flight tomorrow at 5 in the morning. I have to leave to Berlin to play a concert, and I do not like airport food or their prices, so I'm gonna make a few extra to take with me. All right, you're gonna need the meat, of course. For this recipe, I'm gonna use 2 to 3, they're kind of small, so I'm using like 2.5 onions. Some fresh parsley, I'm gonna grab more because that's not enough. Garlic, as much as you like. I'm using quite a bit because I like garlic, so it's like 5 cloves here. 2 eggs. And you can use breadcrumbs, but I highly recommend just some stale bread, day-old bread that's been sitting out. I mean, with German bread, there's no preservatives in it usually, so a day out, it's rock hard. Whereas if you get like that kind of bread, and you're not gonna wait forever for it to thaw or get stale because it's loaded with preservatives, put it in the oven, lowest setting with the fan on for about an hour, and it's gonna dry it out as well. All right, so what you're gonna do with the bread before you even get started is go ahead and just throw it in a thing of water. Just soften it up. Now I'm gonna just let that soak in the water while I get everything ready. Now, the way I made it last time, it was the onion, the parsley, garlic, 2 eggs, bread, meat, and salt and pepper, and that was it, and it was excellent. But a lot of recipes will add mustard, so I've got some good German mustard. It's a little different than your normal yellow mustard. It's spicy, so if you can get a spicy mustard, use that. Some paprika, some powdered paprika, and some marjoram. And finally, Maggi verts. This is like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't even know if you can get it in the US. You probably can if you look online. This is going to be a little additive to it. And finally, the only extra thing I'm going to add that's not so common is I've got some cold smoked Gouda cheese. If you want to see how to smoke cheese, I'll put a link in the info card above or in the description below. So I'm going to grind up some of this, shred some of this up, and mix it in with the meat mixture. And that is it. Salt, pepper, and I've got my cast iron skillet preheated. You're going to use a little bit of oil to cook it in, and once it's cooking, I'm going to throw in some butter. All right, so next step is I'm going to just dice up these onions and mince the garlic, and we'll come back and mix it all together. All right, so I got my prep work done. Chopped up the onion really small pieces, the garlic and the parsley. We're going to take our meat, throw it in a mixing bowl. Throw 2 eggs in there. Throw the garlic, the onion, and the parsley in. Now for the spices. I'm going to use about 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of paprika, 2 teaspoons of the marjoram, about 2 teaspoons of this German spicy mustard. And if you can't find German mustard, there's like the British mustard's really spicy too. I don't know. Any spicy mustard is what I would recommend. And you can omit it altogether. There's a lot of recipes that don't use mustard. Like I said, there's a lot of variations in this. And this Frikadellen, it's a German word. No one really knows the origin of it. It's like, I think, from the 16th century. There's the same thing they have in Denmark, and even adaptations of it in Norway and I believe Sweden. Sweden, they boil it though, they don't fry it like what we're gonna do here. And 2 teaspoons of this Maggi, which, man, I wish I could figure out a way to describe it. It's very salty. So let me see if it's almost like a mix of Worcestershire and soy sauce. Yeah, it's really salty. Almost like what's that stuff called, the British stuff, Marmite or Vegemite. That is similar, but it's a liquid. The consistency is just like soy sauce. All right, and finally, this is the extra I'm going to throw in is this smoked Gouda. Quite a bit. And only thing missing is the bread. What I'm going to do with this bread is grab it and just squeeze out as much as the water if you can. All right, and now you want to mix it up all really well. Just get your hands in there. It's the easiest way, and go for it. I forgot pepper. There's something I forgot. Black pepper, and use a lot of it. All right, now ready to mix it up. And the consistency is thicker. It's not like, you know, with a hamburger you want to not knead the dough so much. With this, you actually do knead the dough quite a bit. Basically, once you get that bread all distributed well through the meat, you're pretty good to go. Some other things you can add to it. There's some people put sambal, like, or something spicy in it, you know, like some cayenne pepper. There's even some with vegetables in it, like corn in it. But for a veggie burger, that's acceptable. All right, so this is mixed well. Next thing is just wet your hands and you're gonna shape them into balls. You wanna make them, it's up to you. I like to make them big enough to fit in like a sandwich, like one of those Brotchen rolls, bread rolls. So, I'd say about that size is good. And you just kind of flatten it out. You don't want to you want to kind of fat in the middle. So it's gonna look like that. And that looks just about right size for me. So what I'll do is finish shaping these out. I've got the cast iron already preheated. You're gonna heat up a bit of oil and we'll get to cooking these, which is easy, simple. And this is like, I'm actually so hungry right now. I can't wait till these are done. I've been packing and preparing all day for this concert tomorrow and have not really had a chance to eat. And we're gonna actually like kind of sear the outsides of these first, then turn the heat down. So I wanna have my skillet up pretty high at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it up to medium-high heat right now. All right, so my skillet's nice and hot. We're gonna start searing these. Just put enough oil in there. You can use vegetable oil, whatever, to coat the bottom of the pan. And we're going to give those about a minute to 2 minutes to get a nice color and sear on the first side. You can start seeing when it's ready to flip, the bottom start to brown a little bit. And And that's what we want it to look like. We want to get that on both sides, and then we're going to reduce the heat. So another couple minutes after it's flipped. And since I'm using cast iron, it's going to retain the heat pretty well. I'm already going to lower the heat to about 3. Actually about 4 because I forgot to do this one. I need a bigger skillet. At this point, depending how much oil you have, I have enough oil in here still, so I'm not going to add butter into it. But if it gets a bit drier, you can add some butter once you reduce the heat. What I'm going to do is just throw some slices right over the top, let it melt into it. It's early on both sides like this, and now it's time to reduce the heat. Turn it to low. And let them go for another 5 minutes on a low heat. And you'll get a good idea when they're done, because in the middle you see it's the color. It's once it stops getting that pink color that's flowing out from the middle, they're ready. But I'd say about 5 minutes on low, so we'll come back in a few minutes and dig into these. Alright, so these are just about done. You can flip them after a while, just so you're worried about burning them. And what I'll do is just spoon a bit of this butter over them as they cook occasionally. But generally that's how they're going to look. They have that nice crust on the outside and the inside's more pale. Alright, like I said, you can eat these as a meal with potatoes, whatever side dishes you want. A lot of times if you just buy them at like a fast food thing, they just come in a bread roll like this. And you put, a lot of times people just put mustard on it. I'm actually going to use some sriracha mayo because I love this stuff. It goes really good on these. Otherwise, some other kind of ways to do it is a slice or two of tomatoes with some cheese melted over the top. It's also really good. But I am starving, so I'm going to just do a quick and easy way for the first one. So I can cut into it. Cooked well all the way through. It's gonna be hot, but oh well, let's give it a taste. Alright, I know it's a normal thing. When you make something homemade, it's usually better than what you're gonna get at the store. But I have to say, I bought these at butchers that make them, and they're really good. And this is just as good, if not better, than some of the best ones I've had. It's that low. No, something about the way they come out. I don't know how to describe the flavor. It's that kind of food that after you eat it and you burp, you taste it again, but it tastes good. So I think whoever has to sit next to me on the plane tomorrow, they're going to be getting some nice strong garlic burps all day. I put a lot more garlic than I'm used to having in these when you buy them, which I think is excellent. You don't have to put as much as I did. It's pretty strong but not overpowering. But all the other flavors really come out so good like this. Okay, I want to finish eating this. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe. Help me get my channel growing. I've got a lot of videos I've already made that I just got to get to editing. So after we get this last one for the year out of the way, I'll go back to putting those together and putting them up. I'm going to try to get this one done tonight. Got to practice still and pretty much packed. So that's it for now. Until next time.